The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone, Truth Girl Sonia here, and this video is in response to Paul Joseph Watson's video entitled My Last Ever Video, in which he said, many of your favorite YouTubers could be about to disappear. Okay, look, he's talking about censorship on YouTube. I know that this is a big issue and a lot of people have felt censored or stifled in various ways. And I would like to clear a few things up. And I gotta warn you, please watch to the end of the video so you can really understand. Don't just watch part of it, because to explain this, there's gonna be a whole bunch of different things I have to get into. Number one, let's just get it out of the way. Obviously, YouTube has changed. It's not the way it was in, say, like 2009 or 2010. It is harder to find new content, it's harder to find new channels. Things have changed. A lot of people are feeling like there's some censorship going on, specifically on a political level, and specifically of conservatives. Now, there is such a thing as shadow bans on Twitter and Facebook, where if your page gets shadow banned, or your Twitter, like, no one can see it. Whenever it gets posted somewhere, it's not visible in people's feed. YouTube isn't doing anything like that. It's just that it's gotten harder to find new channels, new videos. They used to have something called most viewed for each different category. They had most viewed, most discussed also, and most liked, and things like that. It was really easy to find channels and videos back in the day. But this changed way back in something like 2011, and then 2012 it changed more. So now what you have is top trending. And keep in mind, this is for all of YouTube, from the whole world. So there are not that many videos that make it onto that list. It's true that not many videos with a conservative point of view end up on that list, although I would say there are a few exceptions. I remember a few months ago when one of Lisa Haven's videos ended up on the top trending. Lisa Haven is alternative news, she's conservative, she's pro-Trump, she's a Christian, talks about globalism, and yet her video was up on the top trending, so it can happen. Okay, let's talk about real censorship. The restrictions that Paul Joseph Watson is talking about. First of all, he brings up one way to indirectly censor people is to not let them run ads. Now, a lot of YouTubers are like professional YouTubers. They make a living off doing it. So, you know, if you take their ads off, well, you hit them in the wallet. So that would be that's a way to definitely control what they put out. You put this out, you can't have an ad. They're going to be like, well, what's the point of putting it up? I mean, you know, I'm not going to work all day for nothing. What he brings up was companies not wanting to show ads next to extremist content. And he mentions this includes PewDiePie. Okay, if you go in the YouTube guidelines and you try to understand why you've had a video demonetized, which has happened to me, they'll say it's because it wasn't advertiser friendly. It doesn't have to be extremist content. It could be just something sensitive. Sometimes you put up a political video, the advertisers don't like your politics, and they'll say, we don't want an ad next to this video. It could also be because the video is dealing with a tragedy. Like if you make a video about somebody who died, or a bombing, or a shooting, there's a good chance that whoever it is not going to want to advertise on your video. Yeah, if you talk about a tragedy, especially if you have like a political spin on it, you're going to lose your ad. Doesn't matter if you're Paul Joseph Watson or if you're Lauren Southern. They don't want to run ads on those kind of videos. How is a video flagged as being not advertiser friendly? This is all done by an automated system. And it's an algorithm. There's like bots in there, and it goes by your title and your tags. I think also what you say in the video, because if you remember, there was a time where you would, as you're uploading your video, it would start suggesting tags for you because it can hear what you're saying. The robot knows what you just said. Also, you can, you know, YouTube does a subtitle thing or a closed caption or whatever, and where it can tell what you're saying. It's transcribing it. Although sometimes it's very wrong. It's like comes out as gibberish if you talk too fast, or you mumble, or you have an accent. The robot gets confused. So the thing is, this algorithm and robot stuff, it's not perfect. So it makes mistakes, and this is why you might get a video demonetized, and then you resubmit it, and an actual person looks at it and goes, yeah, no, you can have your ad back. The demonetization is totally separate from community guidelines flagging, because he brings up a lot of things. He brings up YouTube heroes and all this stuff. YouTube Heroes is really just the new name for the program that's been around for a long time, which used to be called Trusted Flaggers. Most people have a flagging accuracy of 30%, and the Trusted Flaggers, it was like 90 or 95%. But it's just the group of people that have proven their track record in flagging. And once they flag, it doesn't mean it's taken down automatically. I mean, it's sent for review. The thing is, if the people who are in the Trusted Flaggers or YouTube Heroes program abuse this and repeatedly flag videos that don't deserve to be flagged, they're going to just get kicked out of the program. Now, the ad issue is something separate. It's nothing to do with the flaggers or the YouTube Heroes. They don't deal with that. This has to do, like Paul Joseph Watson said, advertisers don't want their product ads paired with certain kind of content. So what's next? Censorship, as in not being able to see the video. Well, if it's community guidelines violation, they could just take it down. But there are other ways where your video may not appear. One is if it's rated over 18. This actually applies to stuff like, for example, fetish videos, which we don't want our kids watching. It gets flagged and YouTube decides they're not going to take it down, but they're going to age restrict it. And you have to be signed in to prove that you're 18. So at least this way you have the option, if you want your 7 or 8-year-old to watch some YouTube but not anything inappropriate, put them on without them being signed in, and anything that's rated over 18, they won't be able to get to it. I don't personally have a problem with that as a mother. Now, the other thing is restricted mode. Oh, look what happens when you watch YouTube in restricted mode. PewDiePie's videos disappear. Well, I would bet probably even my videos disappear. This restricted mode is an option. It's parental controls. So you want to see everything, just don't watch videos with the parental controls on. Now, the problem is that some libraries and universities will have restricted mode on all the time. Maybe you should be complaining that universities shouldn't be putting it on restricted mode, because they do have the option. Let's talk about PewDiePie, because he says, well, why would this guy who's not even doing political videos, is just making funny videos about gaming, why would he be on restricted mode? A lot of these gamers use extremely foul language. They use sexually explicit language. They talk about drugs. So that's probably why a lot of them are not viewable on restricted mode, which, like I said, it's just parental controls. You don't like it, turn it off. However, not appearing on restricted mode does not mean you can't run an ad. It's got nothing to do with it. Because if you go to PewDiePie's channel, okay, Paul Joseph Watson just proved he's not visible on restricted mode, and yet he's got ads on all his videos. So the two have nothing to do with each other. Oh, let me tell you about PewDiePie. The innocent gamer. By the way, I love PewDiePie. I never used to watch him. My son was always watching him, and I'd be like, so annoying. But his videos have changed. They're highly entertaining. He's very funny. And there's some social political commentary in there, which is quite interesting. So what happened with PewDiePie was he was with the Disney Network, and he's the biggest YouTuber, like the most subscribed of all time. Mr. Popularity. Here's what he did. He went on a website called Fiverr where you can hire people to do anything. And he hired a couple of guys to hold up a sign that said, "Death to all Jews, comma, subscribe to Keemstar." The joke being that he was making his friend Keemstar look like a racist. But it didn't go over well. And are you surprised that Disney dropped him? But as you see, he's still running ads. It didn't put him out of business. It's true that it's not so easy to find political videos, but you know, they're out there, and some of the channels, in spite of the kind of content they deal with, they're doing well. Look, you got to check out the site if you want to know. It's called socialblade.com. Go look at, I'm going to show you some of my channels that I watch, that I'm subscribed to. Dabu77, he's getting plenty of views, nearly 3,000 subscribers this month, and he earned between $776 to $12,400 in 1 month. I'd say he's doing pretty well, in spite of all the censorship. Okay, look, these following channels are all very conservative. They're very anti-globalist. Rebel Media, they're doing great. There's Lauren Southern, who just recently split from Rebel Media. She's doing great too. There's Lisa Haven. She's having lots of success. And there's Julie Borowski, who hasn't been very active lately on YouTube, but she was doing just great. Although I think she's just moved on to other things. So, you know, being a conservative or a right-leaning libertarian doesn't mean you're going to get edged out of YouTube. Okay, let's take a channel as controversial as possible. Let's look at David Seaman. And if you notice here on the main page, it says he hasn't made any money this month or this year. But if you go to the detailed statistics, you'll see that he has estimated earnings for every day. But on the 28th of February, he lost 18 million views and many, many thousands of dollars. What that means is that a video was either deleted, removed, or even set on private or unlisted. So this shows up on Social Blade as minuses, and it minuses your earnings, but obviously whatever he earned, he didn't have to give it back. So it's not quite accurate. But as you see, this guy, he's still running videos and he's still running ads. And he just landed a YouTube silver play button, although he does say that his Pizzagate videos were demonetized on YouTube. But you know, that was on the 23rd. And on the 25th of March, he still made $9 to $141 that day. Probably he made somewhere in the middle. So clearly, he's not out of business either. Oh, and in case you're curious by now about what I earn, here are my statistics. So let's look at Paul Joseph Watson's Social Blade. So he's complaining that he's feeling censored. He's obviously sore that he lost his ad. But he is earning $3.3 thousand to $52,000 a month. I'm kind of surprised that he's the one complaining. You know, that looks to me like he's doing pretty well. My last video ever? No, I don't think so. Now, why is he getting so many views? Well, the thing is, if you're on YouTube and you're just an island, it's hard to get noticed. It's hard to get views because you're buried in this pile. It's like the proverbial needle in a haystack. So what people do is they network with other people. Now, either they can actually join a network, such as Paul Joseph Watson. He's on the Free Speech Systems Network, which, by the way, includes all the Alex Jones and Alex Jones related networks. He's also networked with InfoWars and Alex Jones off YouTube. Not everyone is on a YouTube network. I'll give you an example, Dabu77. He's not on a network. He's still doing well, but he is networked with other people through the Underground World News website. This is how it works. People get together with other people and they promote each other's content. One way of indirectly censoring people is take the ads off their videos. Now, the companies who are running ads may not feel comfortable about the content their ad is paired with. And they know very well that whatever surrounds their product is going to be also like incorporated into how the person feels about their product. So, you know, it has to do with marketing. They're like, well, we don't want our ad for a lipstick, for example, to go before a video about some kind of tragedy, like a public shooting, because we don't want our viewers to have negative associations with our products. So they could say, we don't want our content running on this type of video. This isn't an infringement on free speech, because free speech does not have anything to do with your freedom to host ads. Oh, it sucks for us. Here's the thing, and why I don't think that YouTube is ever going to get to the point of censorship via demonetization to the point where like nobody's going to want to use it or say anything. Yeah, you want to imprint, like the companies, they try to brand imprint on the children, but these ads are really up for people to click and buy the products. So they don't want to just, you know, target the ads to children. There's lots of different products and services out there that are targeted for adults. So you're going to limit where you run ads to the point that it has to be like friendly to a 10-year-old. Well, maybe they're just going to end up having their ads all on like videos that the kids watch, and it's actually not going to be good for their business. There are going to be videos that they don't want their ads on because they don't want to be associated with it. But I really don't think they're going to just stop running ads on anything except like the most innocuous, boring stuff. So that's it. I wanted to explain that. I hope it was clear. And thanks for listening to me. Thanks for liking and sharing my video. And I'll see you next time.